And so after this game, this was really disappointing. After the game, Dak Prescott was asked about the fans throwing debris onto the field. As the Cowboys were making their way off of the field, debris was being thrown down towards the players going into the tunnel. And Dak, when asked about this, said it was disappointing, said that shouldn't happen, said that the players go out there and try their hardest, nobody's trying to lose, and then was asked about fans throwing debris towards the referees and said, quote, credit to them then. Credit to them. Meaning, good, I'm glad you threw it at the referees. The worst thing the Cowboys routinely do as an organization is blame other people, blame other parties, blame circumstance. It happens time and time again because that's what Jerry Jones does. We're great. How could we lose? It can't be our fault. It happens year after year after year. It's been happening for a quarter century. And the worst thing Dak could do, and I think we all respect Dak. He's always been a very conscientious leader. He's always been very mature in his press conferences. He always has a pretty solid professional demeanor. The worst thing he could have done yesterday is applaud blaming the officials. Because, dude, that ain't it. Let's go down the laundry list of why the Cowboys lost this football game. Number one, on that final play, you can't run that final play. You've got no timeouts. You can't risk not getting another playoff by running a quarterback sneak. At the moment it happened, Jim Nantz is saying, whoa, why are they doing this? Every one of us watching said, whoa, why are you doing this? You've got no timeouts. So, number one, you risk your season ending exactly that way, without a throw into the end zone. Play call, Kellen Moore. Mike McCarthy, green lighting that play call. Good teams, good coaches don't call that play. Number three, Dak Prescott. Get down, dude. Instead of trying to get all of the 17 yards, take 10, get down, save yourself a couple of seconds. Okay? Also, Dak, make sure you hand the football to the umpire or the official, because if you hand it to your center, that does nothing. The official has to touch the football before the next play is snapped. So you can give it to your center, and he can run laps around the field if he'd like. He can take it, show it to the fans, get a roar of the crowd, spike it. He can act like he's burping the baby. It don't matter. The play can't start until the umpire gets it. So you boneheads, doesn't matter until that guy with the stripes is handed the football, hand him the football. More so, the slow start. I mean, come on. The Cowboys win 12 games and then show up like they're sleeping through the first half of their playoff game. They had 7 yards after the first quarter. 7. A team that scored 530 points in the regular season, more than that team has ever scored, ever. And they had 7 yards in the first quarter. Hello, McFly, wake up. Also, penalties. How many mind-numbing, stupid decision penalties can the Cowboys have thrown on them before they look at themselves and say, that's on us? The entire day was scarred by penalty after penalty. 14 penalties. 14. By the way, this is not out of the realm of normalcy for the Cowboys. They led the league in penalties. So you tell me, were they right or not to throw them? Let's continue. How about, as I mentioned, the Cowboys' offense being remarkably shaky after Dak strained his calf in New England? It never got right, and yesterday it wasn't right as well. And if you dare want to blame the officials for taking away that final play, well, there's no guarantee you were going to get a touchdown from the 25-yard line anyway. B, you would just run right down the field on a bunch of patterns to the outside, out of bounds. So why wouldn't you run one more of those? They had worked so well. The Niners were basically gifting you that yardage. Run one more of those and get out of bounds. But also, man, were you gifted even that chance, because that was a first down on the quarterback sneak on fourth down. First of all, the officials bailed you out on the re-spot, okay, but they got it right. Looked like they got it right. They re-spot it. Fourth down comes up. The Niners get the first down, except Trent Williams isn't standing or isn't set. The Niners shoot themselves in the foot. That's an egregious error. So the Cowboys are completely bailed out because even though they didn't stop the first down, Trent Williams isn't in his stance. I mean, you want to blame the officials? The officials? Dak, shame on you. I mean, come on, own this. And the entire Cowboys team has to own this. That was a loss, thorough. And the Niners went in there and handed a beating on the Cowboys in their house, just like the Cowboys always receive. 26 years and counting. They can't get to an NFC Championship game or a Super Bowl. This year was no different. And let's be perfectly frank here as well. In terms of the power structure of the NFC playoffs, the Cowboys were the fifth best team of the NFC playoffs this year. They just were. They ain't the Packers. They're not the Buccaneers. They're not the Rams. And clearly, they're not the Niners either. They were the fifth best team of their own conference. They weren't going anywhere anyway. It's just appropriate because remember early in the season, Amari Cooper said, "We're thinking Super Bowl." And remember early in the season when the Cowboys had that whitewash against the Broncos where they just got waxed 30-16? And Jerry said, "I never even considered losing a football game." The Cowboys got ahead of themselves, as they always do. It's an organization led by Jerry who are always ahead of themselves. And when they bust at the poker table, they blame everybody else. Mike McCarthy, blame the officials. Dak Prescott, blame the officials. Cowboys fan, blame the officials. Right, it's always the officials' fault. 26 years of this. It's always the officials, though. Clown show. Just so appropriate. 855-212-4CBS. 855-212-4227. On Twitter, DA on CBS. The Cowboys, since that win against the Patriots, beat the Vikings, the Falcons, the Saints, Washington twice, the Giants, and the Eagles running their backups. You know what they all have in common? Non-playoff teams. Since that game against the Patriots, you know who they lost to? The Chiefs, the Raiders, the Cardinals, the Niners. Guess who all they had in common? Playoff teams. That's who the Cowboys were.